This is Conversations on Careers and Professional Life, a podcast from the Foster School of Business, MBA Career Management Office. I'm your host, Gregory Heller. On each episode, I talk with guests from faculty and staff to students, alumni, and business leaders about the skills and strategies that can help you design a professional career that you're happy with. On this episode, I share some advice that I find myself often giving to students about how to think about structuring their answers to behavioral interview questions. As a job candidate, it's up to you to shine the spotlight on the skills and experiences you've had that are relevant to the job or company you're interviewing for. It's not enough to have a dozen well-rehearsed stories that illustrate examples in response to the interview questions you anticipate. Invariably, you'll get asked a question that you haven't prepared for. In a few seconds, you'll have to decide which story fits the question best and start your answer. The danger is that you'll tell the story as you've prepared it without tailoring it to your audience or to the exact question. Interviewers remember when a response doesn't answer their question. What they won't remember is that you took a few extra moments before starting your response. Focus on what your audience wants to hear. The AIM framework from Lynn Russell and Mary Munter is a great tool to employ when preparing any communication, including job interview responses. The acronym stands for Audience, Intent, Message. The audience is the person or people receiving the communication. The intent is both your intent, what you want to happen, and the intent you want to create in your audience. The message is both the delivery mechanism and the content. When preparing for any interview, take the time to really think about your audience. Are you speaking with the recruiter or the hiring manager? These are two different audiences, and your intent will be subtly different. For the recruiter, you intend to communicate that you're a strong candidate with relevant skills. You want to advance to the next round of interviews. The recruiter needs to believe that you're the right choice for the role she's trying to fill. For the hiring manager, your intent is to communicate that you have the relevant skills, the right fit with the team, and the ability to do the job. In this case, your intent is to get the offer. The hiring manager needs to believe that you're capable of doing the job, fitting in with the team, and growing to be a valuable asset to the company. Start with the end in mind. Reminding yourself of your intent before preparing and before your actual performance, i.e. the interview, will help you shine the spotlight on the right facets of your experience and respond appropriately to questions that you did not expect to get. This starts with the most common interview question, tell me about yourself. The interviewer wants to know just the relevant details about what you've done that led you to this company and this role at this moment. For example, the fact that you used to build contact relationship management systems for nonprofit organizations may have nothing to do with the work that you want to do today. Your ability to analyze voter data and cut turf for political canvassers? That's probably irrelevant. Oh, you have a Scrum Master and Scrum Product Owner certification? Might not be relevant to this job. But throughout your career, maybe you've always been committed to helping the people around you and your clients communicate more effectively. Bingo! I might be talking about myself here. When answering behavioral interview questions, the ones that start with "tell me about a time when," don't get sucked into the trap of sharing a very procedural and generic explanation of the situation and what you did, filled with every detail you can think of. Think about your intent. Why are you telling this story? What does it demonstrate about how you think and work? What skills or competencies does it demonstrate that are relevant to the role or company you're interviewing for? Remember, it's all about structure and focus. The human you're talking to is hardwired to listen for structure. Stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. People retain structured information 40% more reliably and accurately than information that isn't structured. When you're answering a question, make sure that the content fits into a structure and is relevant to the audience and the question. There are many interview answer structures or frameworks. STAR is one of the most common. It stands for situation, task, action, result. But I like to simplify it with CAR, which stands for context or challenge, action, result. These aren't the only two that are out there. Sometimes you want to add a learning or a takeaway to the end. That would give you the acronym CARL or CART. And sometimes you want a summary statement at the beginning. So your framework would be SCAR. Consider the level of detail, language, and analogies that may be relevant to your audience. For example, if you're interviewing for a data analytics role, you might focus on the part of the story where you extracted insights from data. If you're interviewing for a role that focuses on interaction with customers and clients, you might focus on that part of the story where you determined what your client, internal or external, really wanted to know from the data and how you delivered the insights on time. If you're interviewing for a role that requires cross-functional collaboration, you might focus on how you worked with multiple teams to pull together the data set you needed. Think of these as different facets of a multi-sided die. The die is the experience or story, but depending upon what question you're asked and what role you're interviewing for, you'll expose different facets. That's how you can shine the spotlight on the part of your experience that's most relevant to your audience and ultimately land the job. Thank you for listening to Conversations on Careers and Professional Life. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or classmate. Help others find the show by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Conversations on Careers and Professional Life is produced by me, Gregory Heller, with support from the Foster School of Business, Office of MBA Career Management. Learn more about the show, find show notes and past episodes, and get in touch with me at conversationsoncareers.com.